this is pretty stunning. You know, you wonder, like, those like guys like Kemp and all those Georgian officials who are looking for payback on Donald Trump for making their lives miserable in the wake of the 2020 election. Here it is. This is what it looks like to me. Don Lemon had Georgia Lieutenant Governor Geoff Duncan on, and here's Geoff Duncan's assessment of Herschel Walker. This is, of course, in the wake of Herschel Walker basically running out of any possible thing to say in response to the fact that he paid for a woman's abortion.
Well, certainly he has that ability to do it, and if that's where his heart's at, then I encourage him to do that. But at the end of the day, I think the most attractive feature of a great leader is being intellectually honest. And if we're being intellectually honest, Herschel Walker won the primary because he scored a bunch of touchdowns back in the 80s, and he was Donald Trump's friend. And now we've moved forward several months on the calendar, and that's no longer a recipe to win. And if we're being intellectually honest, also on the other side of the equation, we've got problems running around this country and around the world that are feeling real and heavy. There's questions about the economy in every square inch. Those are the issues that Americans want to be talking about. Those are the issues that Georgians want to be talking about. This should be easier for Republicans than it is, and this is, I believe, part of us taking our medicine as to the quality of a candidate moving forward in these important elections.
I just want to...
The quality of that commentary is less interesting than what's behind it, because I mean, I do not think that Herschel Walker is demonstrably better than that guy, than Geoff Duncan as a Republican representative.
But he's intellectually honest. That's the hallmark of a great leader. We all know that.
I mean, he looks like he could be like hosting The Bachelor. I understand, like maybe that makes him feel like he's a bit better than Herschel Walker. But you guys are all of the same ideology. You just don't like that Walker has these skeletons in his closet and that he doesn't communicate the issues slimily enough for you. But also what they really don't like is that he's a Trump ally, and so now this is a proxy. Crapping on Walker in the media is a proxy war between the people under Raffensperger and what's his name, the governor Kemp.
But it also suggests to me that he thinks that Walker's going to lose now, because he wouldn't be saying this.
It's great timing.
And B, it also suggests to me that they're worried that Walker is going to be a drag on Kemp's election, and that I don't know that there's any polling evidence of this at this moment, but they are cutting Walker loose here. And if I had to guess, he's the first guy to go out and do it. He's the lieutenant governor, but I would be surprised if you didn't see, Kemp. Now, who knows, right? I mean, everybody thought they were going to cut Donald Trump loose after the grab him by the comment, and that didn't happen. There was a couple of people who got out in front of their skis. I think it was Chaffetz who said, like, I can't look at my child's face anymore. And then, of course, like 3 weeks later, she's got a lot of things on her plate, and she's not paying attention anymore. But it's interesting. It indicates to me that they think that Walker has definitely hurt himself beyond repair. Now, they may or may not be right, but it's interesting that Lieutenant Governor feels like he can come out and basically say, this guy's a loser. And that's encouraging. However, let's be fair and balanced. Okay? Let's hear Walker respond to Duncan's comments, Lieutenant Governor of now, Walker may be a little bit pissed that the lieutenant governor of the state that he's running for Senate. This is not like, it's not like some dude who, I don't know, the truancy officer or the guy, the dog catcher from, some county out in the, the boondocks of Georgia. This is the lieutenant governor of the state is getting out there basically saying his only qualifications is he caught a couple of touchdowns and he's buddies with Donald Trump. Walker's a little bit pissed.
Herschel, the Lieutenant Governor Geoff Duncan went on TV, I think last night, and had some very critical words of you, saying that the Republican Party was in disarray.
Yeah.
I think his direct quote, paraphrasing it, was the only reason he's the Republican nominee is because he scored a lot of touchdowns for the University of Georgia.
Now, who was it you said did that?
Geoff Duncan.
Oh, what is he doing now?
Lieutenant Governor.
Yeah, but I don't know. What is he doing now? He does work for who? Don't he go on some TV show all the time? No. Don't he go on the TV and talk a lot?
He's still the
No, don't he go on TV and talk a lot? Right now, people like that, do I listen to? People told me I couldn't play football. So do you want me to listen to someone like that? I'm here to win the seat for the Georgia people because the Georgia people need a winner.
Yeah, he's got no idea who he.
Do you think he had no idea who Geoff Duncan was?
He's got no idea what the lieutenant governor does.
That person in the background saying he's still the lieutenant governor of Georgia, even if he goes on TV.
Yeah, well, no.
And frankly, does Geoff Duncan go on TV a lot?
No, he has no
I
idea.
think I was
what he's
thinking
talking
about the Jeff guy from Survivor.
Yeah, well,
Like, there's not even that many Jeffs on TV. Yeah, maybe he thought it was Jeff Probst.
I don't know.
It seems like if the criticism is of your candidacy, that it only exists because you caught a bunch of passes, a couple of football passes, they're coming back with, yeah, I don't listen to him because when they told me I couldn't catch footballs, I went out and did it anyways.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and perhaps he is being consistent with his political career with his athletic career, because when he was traded to the Minnesota Vikings, that is notoriously like one of the worst trades in the history of football, because the Cowboys then went on to win a bunch of Super Bowls and they gave up a bunch of assets for it. So much like the primary process, the trade-off now that Herschel Walker is on the team that he wants to be on there, or now that he's in the big game, I'm trying to make this metaphor work, but not working out for him at this point, or the party that got him on their roster, so to speak.
Freedom Poutine says, are they trying to pull a Rick Perry by putting glasses on Walker? Have we ever seen him with glasses on?
Oh, yeah.
That could be it.
He needs a pocket protector, too, as well, and maybe some suspenders.
Jay Tingle has a good point. Lieutenant Governor Duncan of Georgia might also be aware that some more dirt about Walker may be coming.
Oof.
I mean,
his campaign knew, that this abortion stuff was out there for months, apparently.
well, I mean, if we are to believe Christian Walker, that they sat down and there was a bunch of things that apparently Herschel was going to address and has not addressed. So maybe there are more things dropping. I mean, it does seem to me that if you were going to drop this, now, I don't know that this is Oppo research, although it seems a little bit hard to believe that it's not. It could have been just reporters going around and talking to people, or that woman just absolutely like reaching out on her own. But the timing, I suspect, a week from today, they're going to be debating, and I'm hoping to cover that from Vegas, just because I think that debate's going to be amazing. It's quite possible something else drops next week at this time. And I will say this, too. There are now calls for Herschel Walker. I saw this in the Examiner, just a headline, to run essentially, what was it, like a stealth campaign or something like that, where the idea would be, don't go out. Don't take questions. Just like
stay in your basement, so to speak.
Do a Joe Biden type of thing a little bit. But that could be just, there is a real concern about this debate. Because why
wouldn't there be? He can't speak.
But it's moved from, like, when he said a couple of weeks ago, I'm not that smart. That was a smart way to go into a debate, right? Because everybody thought Hillary Clinton was just going to walk all over Donald Trump and this and that. And you manage expectations going into a debate. It's one thing for Warnock to get out there and talk all this pointy head gobbledygook about policy and this and that, and try and make, Herschel Walker. Herschel Walker wants to talk about character. not about your gobbledygook, pointed-headed debate stuff. Well,
Nerd stuff.
Nerd stuff. Well, Herschel Walker's he can't do the policy. Mm-hmm. He can't do the character stuff. Is a little bit trickier for him to do these days.
Did you guys watch Veep? Any of you?
A little.
There's like a baseball coach, presidential candidate, and in a debate, basically every time like Julia Louis-Dreyfus's character says anything policy oriented, he's just like, "We just want to hit America out of the park, ladies and gentlemen." And everyone just starts clapping for him.
Honestly,
he's doing amazing.
But I just don't have faith in his capacity to like communicate or speak that he could even go that far to intertwine a football metaphor.
Well, honestly, what's left? What is left if he can't really push the character thing and he can't push the policy thing?
It's just appealing to the evangelical base by saying, I've been redeemed, I've been saved, pray over me, all that kind of stuff. And that is not a general election winning strategy. So.
He still may come in like 48% of the vote in Georgia, but I don't think it's a 52% or 51%, but we'll see. But who knows? We still got 5 weeks.
Yeah.
4 weeks left. And if I was doing Oppo on this guy and this was all I had, I wouldn't have dropped until next week right before the debate. Right? I mean, on Monday I would have done the debate, and then by Thursday maybe she comes out. And the problem is he can say I've been redeemed, but then he'd have to admit that he did it.
That's the thing, and that's what I was saying the past 2 days on the show when you weren't here, was it's amazing that he's,
well, it's a little jab. Okay.
I don't think it was. I think that you are a sick old man,
I understand.
You're taking things very sensitive.
No, it's okay.
Very, very sensitive
That's
right
all right.
now.
I'm sorry for expressing my religion in public by taking Wednesday off. But
anyway, so we were talking about this on the show. Like, he's admitted to a lot of things. He's admitted to holding a gun to his wife's head. He's admitted to almost killing a guy in a road rage incident. He's admitted to like other, the children outside of his marriage and things like that. But now, when there's more evidence than could humanly possible, his damn signature, the receipt, literally, and the fact that this woman also is the mother of one of his children, like, he now draws the line here and is denying it and then saying at the same time that he's been redeemed. You can't square that circle.
well, how do you say you've been redeemed if you don't acknowledge that you've done it?
That's my point. Like, but why wouldn't he just admit this and say I've been redeemed, because everything else he's admitted to?
I think
there's more coming.
Well, it could be there's more coming, but I think also abortion it just shows you how much that Dobbs decision is completely radioactive. Mm-hmm. And so I think he's really worried about that because, I think I can only guess what they're talking about in the evangelical churches, but I would imagine one of the things they're saying is, if you give Chuck Schumer the Senate and they keep and Nancy Pelosi the House, God forbid Nancy Pelosi is still there, frankly, or for that matter, Chuck Schumer. But nevertheless, you give the Democrats 52 votes in the Senate, they're going to pass a federal a right to abortion.
Yeah,
and that's where and I imagine that is what Herschel Walker's value to the Republicans has been, that when they go into these churches, white evangelical churches and probably some black churches as well, they're going in and saying, Herschel Walker, I may be just a guy who caught footballs and a buddy with Donald Trump, but I'm the guy who's going to prevent Warnock from being the 52nd vote that is going to get rid of the filibuster and pass that federal right to abortion. That has to be the calculus.
Yeah.
And that's why abortion was so probably caught them off guard. Like they could not admit to it. And maybe they just didn't think that, I don't know what he thought, but boy, oh boy, there was a miscalculation.